Welcome to the Dog Chug. Ross, Roger, and Mac the Buffalo. How's it going tonight?
Ooh, good to be back.
Been a while.
Usually we open the show without our guest, but tonight Mac demanded he be on because he wanted to drink, and we encourage drinking on the Dog Chug, so we said, hell yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Mac, thank you so much for coming on and being our guest tonight. We are super excited. We have a great show.
Yeah.
How's it going tonight?
I mean, I consider myself a certified dopamine chaser, and what better to get that than here at the Dog Chug? So,
wow, that's exactly right.
All
We need
right.
to have him on more often. And by the way, this is an Ed-free show, so before you turn off, you're not going to have any Ed tonight.
no,
Right, it's 50-50.
Oh my God! So how's everyone doing, Roger?
You know what? I'm doing good. I gave up coffee. I'm off to coffee,
Whoa!
and I make black tea or some Earl Grey. I put a little sugar and a little honey in it, maybe a little sugar and milk, and I feel 100. I was drinking it, and like in the morning, my stomach would be upset. What happened is I got a cup in the afternoon, and I felt fine all day. I drank a cup of coffee, and I felt like crap. My stomach was so I'm off to coffee. I feel 100%. I'm not ready to diet and give up beer like you, but I'm off to coffee.
Nice. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever put any bourbon in there?
I'm sorry.
Do you put any bourbon in your tea? In your black tea?
I've done that in the past. I've been known, Andy. I've been known.
Nice. Ross, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I mean, the Cavs got me back. I'm all in. I'm just all in again. I was down. I felt like, Chuck during a regular season Guardians game. He's like depressed after like game 3 of a 160 game season. I felt exactly like Chuck did, but it was a playoff game, so I think I'm normal to react that way.
You did go a little Chuck.
But they completely flipped it where we're winning the championship now. I don't care what anyone says.
All right.
Nice. Mac, would you agree with that? Are we winning the championship?
I mean, with the turnaround that I saw last night, I mean, that was pretty crazy. I was at game 1, and I can tell you right off the bat that everyone outside of Donovan Mitchell was just nervous. And you could just, it wasn't like it was almost, you dream of getting somewhere, and just when you actually get there, you don't know what to do for a little bit.
Yeah.
But once it got towards the third quarter, they went on a little bit of a run. They made it close in the fourth, and they just came out with so much energy. I mean, they play how they played yesterday, and I feel like they have a chance against anybody.
Wow. I love it. My brother was at game 1, and he said that he felt the energy wasn't of the fans wasn't very good. He was a little disappointed.
Oh, there was also a lot of New York fans, and I don't want to, I've made it a point this year to be, more positive and not judge people, with the small closet that they live in, and they pay a lot of money to live with rats. Like, you know what I mean? If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But they were pretty loud game 1. There was a little bit of presence, in terms of Knicks fans.
Were they out of line at all?
Oh, yeah. No, a lot of them were actually yelling stuff during the national anthem, which was really weird. I don't think that they were actual New Yorkers, because I don't think that would fly if you did that in New York. But, yeah, they were just that. I mean, again, hey, don't want to judge. Don't want to.
There's been a lot of, sparks going back and forth on Twitter between the Cavs fans and New York Knicks fans. It's getting kind of ugly.
Oof. Yeah. The rats.
But we're just going to say go Cavs, and excited for what, Friday?
Yeah, another 2-day break.
Nice. All right, go Cavs. All right. Well, you got to drink with us, but we're going to do our little Dog Chug update bit. This is where we tell the news. You have a similar bit. What's it called?
What the Buffalo heard.
What the Buffalo heard. Well, this is our version, Dog Chug update.
All right.
It's less funny and less informative.
That's
All right. Well,
and considerably more offensive.
Okay. All right. I'm in.
All right.
Go.
Kevin Stefanski spoke with reporters yesterday and said his star quarterback, Deshaun Watson, will be better for having last season under his belt. Kevin, I don't know if you noticed, but about a quarter of Browns fans determined they can no longer support the franchise because they couldn't get behind what you and Andrew did. So how about moving forward, we refrain from referencing what's under Deshaun's belt?
Woof.
Oh. The Cleveland Browns have ended their naming rights agreement with First Energy and have renamed the stadium back to Cleveland Brown Stadium. And we here at the Dog Chug couldn't be more thrilled. Selling out is disgraceful, and the Haslam should be ashamed for making a couple bucks off of something so foolish. And now we bring you Rogers Bet Jack Top 10, brought to you by Homage Apparel. Use promo code Network216 to get 5% off. Click the links on the Network 216 page. Homage has the best gear. Bet Jack has the best bets. Make your parlays there. Make your bets there. Bet the Cavs to win it all, just like I said. Pretty good odds right now. And this Homage shirt, fire. Little retro look. Got to get it. Get it while it's hot. Homage. Best, most comfier shirts out there.
Wow.
All right. Now I think,
All right. What it's been a talk. Our friend, our guest, Mac. These are the top 10 reasons Andrew Berry needs to get more defensive tackles. We still need some more help in that room, and these are the top 10 reasons that he should bring some more people in. Number 10, plus-size modeling is all the rage. So, number 9, McDonald's hasn't had the opportunity to put out a shitty grease burger named for a star defensive tackle since the MVP.
that was a good burger.
There's a good reason right there. Number 8, Barry needs to fix the 3rd and 4th round mistakes he's made. And the draft group, who the draft gurus immediately said were steals, and they were not. Nope. Number 7, because the ones we have play on roller skates.
Yeah.
Number 6, because we don't have a true team player like Baker Mayfield to take reps at defensive tackle after he gets cut. Number 5, because Nick Carnes' new Andrew Berry hype poem needs a line that rhymes with makes me cackle. Cackle. Number 4, because replacing all the turnstiles are the first order of business with the new stadium renovations.
Nice.
Number 3, because fat guys need loving too.
It's very true.
Number 2, D. Haslam likes him thick. And the number 1 reason Andrew Berry needs more defensive tackles, Mac the Buffalo was so upset last year. Over the DT room, he skipped leg day all of July.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
That
All
can't
right,
be
that's
true.
funny. I do remember absolutely losing my mind when they were at, what was it, pick 44 last year. They traded back to 68. And when they finally did, they picked, now granted, I totally ate my words, Martin Emerson, hell of a cornerback, but at the time I was very distraught.
You were livid. We had to talk you off the ledges.
Nice.
Well, that was the top 10 reasons.
Oh, yeah, top 10 reasons. We got more Dog Chug update, Russ?
Yeah.
With you.
All right, more Kevin Stefanski news. Kevin Stefanski was asked about the first offseason the team wasn't dealing with a major controversy, and he said, actually, we try to keep everything as consistent as possible for our guys. Coming off back-to-back seasons where our QB was playing with one shoulder and wouldn't come off the field, and then the looming suspension and disturbing allegations, we're actually in the process of trying to manufacture a little bit of controversy so the locker room is so similar to what the guys are used to. With that, I bring you the new logo of the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh.
Boy.
That's pretty controversial.
Yeah.
That actually won't be the Browns' new logo. Kevin's blood sugar was a little low, and he made an unsavory joke. And we are at the Dog Chug. We support all shitty beer, and we also support people that live their truth. But the Browns did in fact announce a contest to allow fans to create the new Browns dog logo. Asked why they were doing this, Executive Vice President J.W. Johnson said, "We knew we needed a new logo, but after losing all that First Energy money, we were forced to slash our entire marketing department. So why not let Zach Creates make the new logo for free?" Jeez. By the way, Zach, the newest member of Down with the Browns, go check him out.
So Down with the Browns, we had to get him in.
He's a former
WKY.
boss, remember that?
WKYC has reported that there's zero possibility the Browns will temporarily be relocated to Columbus if the Browns do move forward with a multi-year stadium renovation. And now, adding Columbus's 20 top 5 reasons the Browns realized Columbus wouldn't work. And there's a warning. If you're immune compromised, we recommend just don't listen to these. These are pretty bad. Are these forward or backwards? I'm going to go number 5. The Scioto River is too clean and doesn't catch on fire like the Cuyahoga River.
Wow.
It's low-hanging fruit, Ed.
All right.
Columbus. Number 4 is Columbus never had a man hold 3 girls hostage in a basement for a decade. I didn't read these. Columbus has too many smooth streets that won't bend your car rims. Columbus doesn't have 327% more violent crimes than the U.S. average like Cleveland does. It's just statistics. And the number 1 reason, because the Browns might actually win a Super Bowl playing in a city that doesn't choke. Oh, man.
Oh,
Way to go out on a whimper.
Hey, did you see him? Yeah. He bashed Garland, and then he just went off the other night. And then he tried to do a makeup tweet with Cleveland today. and nobody liked it.
Jeff says
they weren't buying it from him.
Jeff, we can assure you, outside of referencing Ed and his shitty material he gave us, this is going to be an Ed-free show. Thank God.
Man.
Our ratings have been down. Although we had a lot of live viewers, and I'm pretty sure Ed got his son's basketball team to watch live so that we would have more viewers. So it seemed like people were watching for Ed. I'm pretty positive that was happening.
I think Ed actually had every device in his house had it streaming.
That's worse than the t-shirt bet. He cheated. I had a t-shirt bet with him, who would sell the most t-shirts. And then he bought like 2 whole sets for his entire family. And I was like, that's not how this works.
I mean, when you make a bet with it, you got to just say, then you can't. The sales have to come from.
I thought that he would play the bet ethically.
There's nothing ethical about Ed. That's what's so great about him. Yeah. You should have said that the shirts only count if they're not going to Columbus, Ohio. Anyway. So how has the Down with the Browns been going?
It's been pretty good. Obviously Matty G's prison sentence, then his transfer, that was a lot of turmoil there. There was but adding Zach today was a great move here. It wasn't even, I'm going to be honest with you, giving all props to Christian. He kind of threw this. He called me too. I swear to God, I feel like I talk to this kid every day. And he called me and he was just like, "Hey, I want to pitch this idea to you. I feel like we need, another presence on the show. I feel like we could really benefit, adding somebody to the group. What do you think about Zach?" And it was without hesitation. I've known Zach through Twitter for years here, a really good guy. And I love his work. So, it's only beneficial here to add him. It's Down with the Browns has been one of the best things that I've joined since I kind of started taking this a little bit more seriously, if you would call it. But it always around NBA playoff time is when it just starts to get a little bit under your skin, because a certain, and I don't want to name any names, but someone is a Boston Celtics fan. Don't say Celtic. Ask any Irish person. It's Celtic. Anywho, but he bleeds green, and he loves Jason Tatum. And, hey, I ain't not going to fault a guy for who he likes, but it's just, it gets to you a little bit, it's just yeah.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but we had Manny on, and we actually did a trivia game where he was battling Ross's knowledge of the Cavs against his knowledge of the Boston Celtics, and he did horrible. I don't even think he's a fan of the team.
He didn't get any right.
He got all of them wrong.
I got all of mine right.
It's funny he didn't mention that. He was keeping that silent.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure
I'm writing that down for later.
I made a promo of it.
Emmanuel, I am coming for you.
Anyway, we love Manny, even though he is questionable basketball fandom, and we love you. We're so glad you're on. I know you're great. Are you still writing?
Yes, I'm writing for BetJack currently.
Nice.
I have been since I believe I joined them in December.
Okay.
Grant Puskar brought me on. Still kind of, especially with it being the dead season, it's a little harder to find things to write on. You got to kind of dig a little bit deeper, but hats off to them in terms of what they do from an editing perspective. And when I started talking with Grant before I joined, we kind of both looked at each other and we had the same idea, right? It would be a beneficial relationship because, I'm giving them everything that I got from an analysis and a writing perspective. And they do a great job editing my pieces, adding they have an official photographer, which is amazing. And it's a real kind of tight community over there. I feel bad saying this, but I've yet to meet Phil Taylor, which I feel like is way overdue at this point. But yeah, I absolutely love it. Definitely, again, with joining Down with the Browns, I would say joining BetJack has to be up there with one of the better decisions that I've made.
Nice.
Yeah, put in a good word with them for us. We're trying to get them as a sponsor right now. We're showing them some love.
Oh, well, I mean, I have a little bit gift. They sent me a little swag bag, T-shirt, koozie. So definitely.
And I can say they're doing a great job editing too, because I can finally tolerate your articles.
Yeah. There were a couple in the early days of the old, I'm not, I know you guys remember it, but I'm not sure if, people watching the show remember the blog that I started, Cleveland Stampede. That was, it was rough a couple times here. Didn't edit it too well. It's
I'm just
really
giving
tough.
you shit. It's all good.
Well, no. But I find it funny because I remember sending one out, and it was one of the first pieces that I've ever wrote. And my sister had texted me, and she said to me, "Your grammar is garbage. You want to do yourself a favor and send it to your older sister so she can look at it before you send this out."
Well, I don't know if you can believe this. And I don't know how far back you've watched the Dog Jug, but we've actually had some bad shows early on, like in the beginning.
No way.
I know. No, it's hard to believe, but
You got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. Well, I know I love your tweets. You're such a great person to follow. You always find something that I didn't know, or some stat, something interesting to break down. So I really encourage everyone to follow Mac. But you are now without your detractors. There are people that are not fans of yours, and we're gonna prove that you know your shit right now. We're gonna have a little fun.
All right.
Yep. There we go.
We're gonna play the Mac the Buffalo game just to prove to all your haters that Mac does know shit. He does know what's going on. So
Here we go.
we're gonna put you on the spot here.
All right.
If you fail, you're gonna look really embarrassing.
Yeah.
This is going out live.
All of the pressure.
All right. So I got a couple questions here.
Okay.
I suspect you're going to do really well because, you're Mac the Buffalo, right? All right. So where in the country is the largest herd of buffalo located in the United States?
Water buffalo or like the American bison?
Well, let's just go with
Jesus.
American bison.
American bison. Okay.
You have 28 minutes, and we're gonna buzz you.
Okay.
I need the Jeopardy music.
27 minutes, 50 seconds.
South Dakota?
I think it's Yellowstone National Park. That's South Dakota, right?
Wyoming, isn't it?
Isn't it like in 4 parks? You know what? I'm just gonna give you that one.
Okay.
Just we don't.
All right,
Montana,
within
right?
500 pounds, how much?
Geography.
Within 500 pounds, how much does a fully grown buffalo weigh?
Say 4,500.
Ooh, you're just a little bit off. 2,000 pounds.
Whew.
Man, that's embarrassing. You didn't know
Yeah,
that.
no, that is embarrassing.
All right, what's the average lifespan of a buffalo within 5 years?
I want to say isn't it 25?
25 is
Wow.
exactly right.
Hey,
Holy
I was
shit.
gonna say if Mac's hunting them, it's not long because he'll have some good 500.
Well, I remember it was my past birthday back in May a year ago, and somebody had commented. I'm pretty sure it was Ed that made the joke, and he was just like, if you were an actual buffalo, you'd be dead by now. So that's the reason why I know that.
This is like the most Ed referenced Ed free show we've ever had.
Right, I was thinking that.
I hope he's watching. All right. What is a group of buffalo called?
The herd.
That is correct.
Oh wow, see, he knows his stuff.
Fuck you, Mac the Buffalo haters. All right. Within 5 miles per hour, how fast can a buffalo run?
Oh God. Within 5.
Do you know all the research we had to do to look up this stupid shit? We had to go to the library.
27 miles per hour.
Ooh, just off. It's 35 miles per hour.
35.
So I'm gonna
Pretty
give
good
you-
speed.
you didn't
Hauling
get that one right.
ass. My
They'd
goodness.
be a defensive end.
Yeah.
All right. The final question.
Okay.
And this is for all the marbles. If you win this, you've proven that your haters are fucking stupid. If you get this one wrong, they get the last
You're
laugh.
right.
Okay.
What is the primary predator of the buffalo?
It's not a Matty G.
No.
It's no longer the Wolverine.
It's not. It's like. I want to say it's a wolf, isn't it?
It's a wolf.
Holy smokes. The
Wow.
wolf.
The
Wow.
guy knows his shit.
Man,
So
if we
everyone
gave stuff. Man,
follow his tweets, read his articles. This is a guy that can back it up.
if we gave stuff away, you'd win something.
That's exactly right.
All I want to do is win your hearts. So I'll take it.
You already own mine. Wow. How are you doing with the whole situation? Speaking of the hearts, you you admitted you were struggling a little bit. Is that things going good?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, when you make a dramatic change for the better, you know, it just it's a little rough at first to rip off that, you know, duct tape, and kind of stings a little bit. You look back and you go, why the hell did I even put this duct tape on? You know, why was it even there in the first place? But, you know, stings for a little bit after you rip it off, but, you know, just like life.
Dude, I totally get it, and it's even harder when you're an emotional bitch.
Oh, amen to that. But yeah.
No, I love you, and thank God that you are a guy that can express feelings. And we all need to do more of that. So, all right. Well, let's have some. Let's get into some good football talk. Let's get to spit, sip, chug. You know how to play this game, right, Mac?
Yes.
We're having a beer.
It is. You sip if you slightly agree. You chug if you absolutely hammer it home, and then you spit if you don't agree at all.
That's exactly right. And we're going to make a little new rule today. Roger, you are not allowed to sip today. You have
Oh,
you got to go to one extreme. Everyone else can sip.
all right.
We're going to try and make this more interesting because, you sipping every week is just not getting it done.
Man.
All right. And we're going to put you right on the spot.
right.
Roger, we're going to start right with you. Here we go. Statement number 1. The Cleveland Browns need to execute next week and have a good draft, or the 2023 season will be in
I
jeopardy.
can't. I got to spit on it. Since I can't sip, I'm spitting on it. I don't think this draft will have any bearing on what I expect this football team to do come September and for the 2023 season. This draft has no bearing on it whatsoever.
All right. See, you're more interesting already. I love this new rule. Ross.
I'm going to spit on it. We all know the immediate starters usually come in the first and second round. So I'm not worried at all. I mean, they were this aggressive in free agency. They're ready to spend what they could because that's where they knew they would get their starters and impact players. So, yeah, if we do get starting caliber players in this draft, that'll be icing on the cake, in my opinion. So that's where I stand. Easy spit.
It is an easy spit, so I'm going to do the same. This is like the most, the least interested I've ever been in a draft, to be honest. And this is usually like my favorite day of the year. The Browns have a pretty complete roster. Yes, they need depth, and it would be nice to add a couple players, but I don't think we're not going to make or break this season. I hope like the guys from the last couple seasons start to develop and become more important. I think that's where we really need to focus on. But it would be nice to find a Martin Emerson, but I think if we don't find a Martin Emerson this year, we'll be just fine. So I'm spitting. And finally, Mac.
I'm going to sip. Here's why.
Oh.
I slightly agree with this statement in terms of if we can further the depth of this football team and we can create multiple position battles within camp, the team will ultimately be better. There are still a decent amount of defensive tackle, defensive end, safety prospect. Why not add another wide receiver?
Yeah.
And one of the biggest problems with last year was just lack of depth. You had guys go down, and the guys that stepped in were a little bit too raw. Alex Wright and Isaiah Thomas, when they got a lot of time, they showed their weaknesses. We got to figure out who is going to be that sixth man in the wide receiver room. And this team does really need a third safety because as much as I love Anthony Bell and I do want to see him get a shot this year, they need a third or fourth guy in that room. I'll sip on that.
All right.
Fair enough. I love it. All right. Statement number 2. This one, Roger, we're going to start with you again. Pressure's on you. But this will be one you like answering. Guardians bullpen will be fine and is nothing to worry about at this stage.
I can't sip?
No.
I'm not allowed to sip. I'm certainly not chugging on it, so I guess I'm spitting. But I will caution you.
How many games are in a baseball season, Roger? Is it a long
There's
season?
162. No. You know what? Today they were catching up with Class A. They're getting the bat on the ball. He's I don't know. He's not throwing as hard. They were putting the ball in play. They were weak grounders to the backside. They were late on it, but they were putting the bat on the ball. And Karinchak, his location, his velocity's still good. It's just his location. He's a head case. I'm not extremely worried. I'm spitting on it, but I'm not panicking yet.
All right. So you basically, your answer said I sip, but you spit just to appease
Right,
me.
I spit because I'm not allowed to sip. Right.
Right.
They rarely correlate anyway, Andy. So
We'll go. Actually, let's go the opposite way. So we'll
All
go
right.
to Mac.
I will chug.
All
For
right.
one simple reason. In Tito, I trust.
Tito.
I mean, how many times have we watched the Guardians or, when they were called the Indians and they just opened pretty bad? They're playing those cold afternoon games, and it's just you have the pitching controversies and, where they were at the other night after the game. But somehow Tito gets these boys together and they put themselves in a great position pitching later in the year. I mean, even from what I saw out of Zach punching fist Plesac, I think and especially now having two solid relievers in Clase, and when Karinchak is on, that guy is an absolute maniac, and I love his energy. And anybody that can come into the moment and not be afraid to take on the challenge, I mean, that's what you need out of a late in the game reliever. So, got it on that.
Wow. I love that answer. I am sorry for calling you an emotional bitch because that was a great answer, and I completely.
Are you wrong though?
What's that?
I said, are you wrong though?
Oh, you're emotional. I shouldn't have called you a bitch.
You're pretty damn close to.
Actually, I probably shouldn't even be using the word bitch. I'm a mess. I'm an asshole. But the point is, you gave a great answer, and I agree with that mostly. I'm obviously a little bit concerned, but I do think that closing and bullpen, that's such a mental game. And when it's April, who gives a shit? And it's so hard to be locked in, to be focused. So I'm not too worried. I'm going to chug. Ross.
Well, like I said last season, whatever Roger tells me is what I do. I agree with his opinion, but I really like what Mac had to say about Tito. Obviously, I trust Tito, but I'm going to sip on it because I'm with Roger, and he really wanted to sip, but he wasn't allowed to, so I'm doing it on his behalf.
We'll sip.
I mean, if there's 162 games in a season, things can change. Tito knows what he's doing. You're not allowed to be mad at the beginning of the season. You're only allowed to be mad at the end of the season. This is just how baseball works, guys. Baseball's baseball. And you got to deal with it.
And 500 on the road and win at home. Baseball's hard.
Barely be over 500, and you got a one-game playoff, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do statement number 3 a little bit differently. I'm going to actually ask a question. We're all going to need to go around the horn and give an answer. And if the other members agree, they're going to chug. And if they disagree with your take, they're going to spit. Make sense? Okay. For the Cavs to continue dominating this series, which player needs to play their best ball? Roger, we're going to start with you.
All right. I'm going to say I want everybody to chug on Darius Garland because we see when he played his best ball last night, what happened. We won by 17 or 19 or whatever, and it was a blowout. I'm saying Darius Garland, I'm chugging.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The second that he mentioned Darius Garland, automatic chug. Absolutely.
All right. Ross?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna agree with Roger here, but I'm gonna give it a little more of the basketball expertise side of it.
There you go.
You got this whole thing, if you watched a lot of the regular season games like I did, yes, there were games that Donovan Mitchell was when Donovan would have his 40-point games and they were awesome, and we did win because he would score and take over. But it seems pretty obvious when you watch the teammates and the way the team plays when Darius has a great game means we're just going to kill teams. It's not just beat them, we kill them. And when you're in the playoffs, if Darius has a great game, you might not kill them, but you're going to beat them by 10 points, not 20. But the thing about Darius that's awesome, he's a point guard that is also a scorer. Maybe not the level that Donovan Mitchell is, scoring at will, but he can shoot the shit out of the ball when he's hot. You saw that what happened in this game. He dished his assists out, even though Donovan actually had a career high in assists in any game, including regular season. During that playoff game, he had 13. But when Darius shoots, you still got Mitchell who's going to do what he does, but it means Mitchell's going to have better shots. He's not going to do those but I the heat checks that Mitchell does. Mitchell's like, "Oh, I made 3 buckets in a row, so I'm going to take this crazy deep 3 that I'll probably miss." Saw that all the time. But there's something about like just Darius with confidence and making a shot on top of just doing what he normally does. Cause like even when he doesn't score, he helps the team. But when he scores, it's just absurd. So I'm obviously chugging on Darius being the reason I would say if Darius plays at a higher level than he did in the regular season, like us being in the championship isn't just a pipe dream. I think Donovan Mitchell's going to give you what he gives, which is great. This is not like a Darius versus Mitchell debate, but when Darius plays great, it's like it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he's young.
Yeah.
Well, Mitchell's young too. Crap.
I'm chugging on that. Love it, Ross.
Also, I want to clarify because I know I'm kind of scowling right now. That's due to the beer. I made a poor decision going with Summer Shandy. I only say that because I had about 13 to 15 of them opening day of the Guardians game. So the taste. I'm just getting flashbacks right now, but I 100% agree with Ross's take there.
Nice. I'm going to cheat on this one, so you guys can all spit if you want. But to me, they just like when you watched the first game, they were just getting out hustled. No one looked like they were locked in. And then when you watch the second game, they were just playing such great team ball. I don't really want one player to step up and play phenomenally. I think everyone needs to play their game, get those rebounds, get those assists, like just play team ball, and we're going to be just fine. So I'm saying everyone.
No, so you're saying JB Bickerstaff?
Yeah, I'm like Dan, and JB Bickerstaff's going to get us to the finals, and then he's going to blow it with his coaching.
So I will agree with. I'll sip here, just because looking at it and looking at the box score, everyone outside of two players. Now those two players combined for like 7 total minutes, but everybody outside of those two players had at least 1+ rebounds. So it was just a better overall rebounding effort. And despite what a lot of people said, Mobley and Allen both had a decent amount of rebounds in game 1, but it was just everyone else that was kind of getting out hustled. And rebound is a team thing. It's never just, one guy. So
all right. Okay. Now, Mac, you give your answer and we'll all chug because I know it's going to be phenomenal.
Karis LeVert, Donovan Mitchell, if he's running the offense or Darius Garland is running the offense, great. But what happens when you get to that point in the game where you need to start your 6th man at the top of the third quarter? You need points other than your 2 main guys. I feel like this is like a common known fact, and feel free anyone to fact check me here. But every team that's won a finals, their 6th man off the bench, is probably a top 10 6th man in the league, right? You have the Andre Iguodala's. Pascal Siakam started for the Raptors, but the Mario Chalmers for the Miami Heat. When the Cavs were in the finals, there they had Delly helped as well. But my point is for him to have 24 points last night and 4 for 9 from the 3 and be able to run the offense. When Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell aren't touching the ball, like that's huge. And if they can get that kind of Karis LeVert every single game, they have a damn good chance of going very far in the playoffs. So,
wow.
Well, that's
a good
Mackie B hot take right there, and I like it.
Right. Drink some more beer.
Got to get points when the starters aren't playing.
Yeah, it's
right.
Makes sense.
That is what happened.
Go LeVert. All right, our final spit sip chug. This time, why don't we start with Roger? Greg Newsome said that he loves Cleveland. He can't understand, all the trade request reports. Will he? No, he will sign a second contract with Cleveland.
I'm chugging.
Whoa. chug there. All right.
I'm chugging. I don't know why I'm chugging. I was thirsty. Drew Rosenhaus has like Polaroids of Jimmy Haslam and sheep because he gets money from the Browns all the time. He's his new agent. And because everybody's going to say Greg Newsom's unhappy and he wants out, it's going to be a storyline from now until he's gone. So I'm going to go the other way on it.
Okay.
And I'm as drunk as Mac now because I got the 9% I've been drinking. So what the hell?
All right, Mac.
I would I'll chug here.
All right, everybody's drinking.
So what? He's Greg Newsom's entering his third year contract negotiations after this year. They can give him his 5th-year option. So once they go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying something wrong.
No,
sorry.
They got 5 years.
But they can go 4 years here. They can give him his 5th-year option, which is a little bit cheaper than an actual extension. And kind of looking at it, as much as I love Denzel Ward, there is an out in his contract in 2 years.
Yep.
And I think I'm so glad that report came out, and I'm so glad that he talked to the media and he said that he's willing to listen. And I would say great to hear it from every defensive player across the board, how they rave about Jim Schwartz. And I thought that was going to be the effect because he's a very well-respected coach in the NFL with a just glorious resume. But the fact that Greg Newsome said that he is willing to listen to his coach, he's willing to be put in the slot, and he's willing to play that position is going to be the best thing for his career. Because here's the thing. Denzel Ward's cornerback number 1. You're not gonna put him on 2. Martin Emerson is the guy that solves the mismatch factor for every single tall wide receiver. He shut down Mike Williams. He shut down Mike Evans. Guys that physically manhandle even like the Jalen Ramseys of the league. So where does that put Greg Newsome? That puts Greg right in the slot. Now, he had a little bit of a down year, but he was still playing some damn good football.
Yeah, he was great.
You don't. He's one of those guys where you don't want to trade. So the fact that he came out and he said that is amazing, and the Browns would be stupid to let him go because he is the future.
All right.
Okay, nice. This is a close one for me, but I'm going with my gut here. And excuse me, I obviously believe very strongly that he did feel slighted by being put into the slot. Maybe it was more of a issue with our defensive coordinator and they didn't get along, or he didn't like the way he was being used. But I do think he wanted to be traded, and now he's coming back and saying, I didn't want to be traded. I don't know. There is, to me, firing your agent because you're a third-year player that expects you could get whatever you want is a little unrealistic. I think there is an immaturity factor to the player. I'm not sure that's a guy that the Browns are going to commit to long-term, although I do love the talent. I hope it works out. I hope he had a sophomore slump, but comes back and has a great year, and it all works out. But my gut is telling me it's not going to, so I'm spinning.
Wow.
Mac's got something to say.
Mac, what do you got? Get it closer to the camera.
What's this bum? Oh my gosh. It's as professional as I want to sound. It's just, oh man. And he's just, I don't have enough bad things to say about him. I'm sure that he's a good guy, and obviously you have to have knowledge of the game to get to the level that he has. But he was practically given that Super Bowl ring by Denver's front seven, and he's been riding his entire resume. And it's,
well, and he did sign with a new team, right? So it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how their defense is. But I agree with you, Mac.
I can't wait to hear Cameron Jordan's interview week 6.
Nice. All right, Ross.
I'm actually gonna chug on it.
See that? I started something.
kind of what Roger said. Drew Rosenhaus. Remember, Njoku also said similar things about wanting to be gone, and then he hired that exact same agent, or no, dropped that agent. Right? Was it the opposite?
It was the opposite. He
dropped it, but so I think it's the whole thing where the Browns and Drew talk a lot, and Drew's like, "Hold on a second, I did the opposite with Njoku. These guys will pay you if you just listen to them and do what you're told." Like that's pretty much what happened with Njoku. It's like we're gonna pay you and you're gonna do what you're told. Just trust us. And I think Newsom's like, "Oh shit, maybe I don't have the 90 or A+ rating on PFF, but if I do what I'm told, this team's gonna pay me as long as I follow the scheme, do what I'm told, whether it's slot, whether it's cover corner, just do your thing. You'll get paid by us. And if you prove that you're an above average starter in the league, we pay you." I think that's kind of what Andrew Berry's been doing. And I think Andy's talked about this. Maybe it was in the chats, not on the show, but Andrew Berry seems to have a track record of when these kind of controversies come up, he tends to put the fires out pretty quickly. Whether it's a combination of money or maybe he's a sweet talker behind the scenes that we don't give him credit for. Maybe he's not just an Ivy League nerd. He actually has like some people skills. So let's just give him some credit. So yeah, he could get a second contract. I hope it's not crazy expensive at the way he's currently playing, but he's a good starting corner in the NFL.
Oh, he had such a good rookie year. It was a huge.
Get him at a discount. That's what we love.
All right. Well, that concludes Spit, Sip, Chug. Great job, everyone. Some good Browns talk. I want to, Mac, we usually don't have someone with the Browns expertise as you, when Ed's on, for example. So I want to take advantage to be able to ask you a couple Browns-related questions. Before last season started, when we were all really excited, you came on your Great Down with the Browns and said that your expectations were a little bit lower than the rest of the Browns fandom. And you nailed that, as this was a very disjointed team. Where do you see the Browns today?
So I see the Browns as now, granted, I understand this is a complete 180. But I'll at least give you guys my reasons why. But if they play up to their potential, I can easily see a wild card berth. 100%. If they take care of business, they should be in the running. If not, if they don't win the division, they're a game or two out, realistically, because they fixed the two biggest problems that they had on that defense: getting Myles Garrett help and finally getting a diverse wide receiver room. Not just better wide receivers, diverse wide receivers room. So let's just talk about the offense here real quick. Their biggest problem last year is that once Jakeem Grant went down, they didn't have a flyer that they could trust. They didn't have a guy that can come in with an extension of the run game, the jet sweeps, the screens. They didn't have somebody that was great in the open field, and they didn't have somebody that could take the top off the defense. Now, with Elijah Moore, as well as getting Jakeem Grant healthy and getting Marquise Goodwin, so now you have three of those speedy type of receivers that you did not have last year. But with Elijah Moore, his yards per cushion, as in like the average yardage that a cornerback or a defender gave him per play, was higher than any Browns receiver last year. And his separation was higher than any wide receiver last year. So the fact that they're open, they can finally open up the offense. They can finally get at full tilt. Because I know that I got a lot of flack, and even from the head coach, about, that I said that they don't run the ball enough. But realistically, I don't think they did, because the problem became they couldn't slow down the pass rush, right? When they finally played TJ Watt at the end of the year, they struggled because they couldn't get that defense, those rushers, off their heels. How can we do that better? Well, get the ball out of your hands. Deshaun Watson led the league in time in the time he had the ball in his hands in terms of holding on to the ball. He did it, longer than any quarterback in the league. So now we have options for him to get the ball out quicker. And what does that do? That keeps the defensive line on their heels. Because if they know that it's a pass play, they're going to pin their ears back and they're going to get as far upfield as they can. So, and especially with them getting I'm sorry. But on the defensive line, they got Dalvin Tomlinson, they got Ogbo Okoronkwo, who, by the way, I think was a heck of a steal.
That was an awesome.
Get some meat.
Yeah, and the crazy part about it is obviously you look at it and you say, oh, okay, well, you only had 36 pressures and 5 sacks last year, but that's on 268 pass rush snaps. If you take how many Clowney had in 2021, which was the best year of his career, you come out with 56 pressures, which would be the most by a Browns defensive lineman since Myles Garrett got drafted.
Wow.
Got some analytic nerd takes there.
Damn nerd. I'm not a dog chuck. You know what we do here?
Ja'Davion Clowney never had that. Ja'Davion Clowney never had that. So they're giving him a
Matt, guess what? The only stat that matters is wins. And guess what? We don't got any of them.
Okay, Ed.
Not yet.
Hey, I was gonna comment, but I forgot the fucking question.
Did you fall?
I agree.
I agree. Go Cavs.
Fuck.
Okay, are the Browns set at defensive tackle, or do they need to keep making some moves?
I mean, adding Maurice Hurst was pretty nice because he's realistically a camp flyer. To add, I mean, their goal should be going into camp not expecting guys like Jordan Elliott and Tommy Togiai to be starters.
Yeah, well, they're not going to be. So that's
I do think that Jordan Elliott, his biggest problem was just figuring out what type of player that he was. It took him 3 years to really figure out his weight. Now, I thought he did pretty decent, but if last year is his ceiling, he's a defensive tackle 3. He's a rotational guy. Nothing wrong with that, but I do think that they need. They have their nose tackle right now with Dalvin Tomlinson. They have their 6'3", 325-pound guy. But they still need that 3 technique. They need that guy that's a little bit quicker off the ball and can play outside shade of the guard there. Now, could that be Maurice Hurst? Could he, show flashes that, and show everybody the reason why he was a first-round pick? Or could that be a guy out in free agency? Or could that be a guy in the draft? I mean, looking at it, there's a realistic possibility that the leader in sacks last year in the FBS, Tuli Tuipulotu from USC, there's a realistic possibility that he could be there at 74.
So out of all of our D-line, who deserves to have a McDonald's meal named after them?
Oh, Dalvin Tomlinson. Absolutely.
What would it be? What do you think it would be? The quarter pounder? Do you think it would be like the Cardi B meal?
I think it's going to
like a random sandwich with a sauce change.
Give me the McTomlinson.
You don't think they'll do like
okay?
Yeah. What about like the triple with that shitty Canadian it's ham? And they call it Canadian bacon, that little shitty round thing on top. That was the Michael Dean. Like 3 greasy cheeseburgers with that shitty bacon on top.
They put Canadian bacon on top of a burger. Now, granted, I just to put this kind of in perspective here, I was born in 1995. I remember the MDP as when did that come out?
It'd be Belichick was here, so it'd have to be 92, 93, somewhere around there.
Okay.
It was probably around that.
Yeah, I remember hearing things about it, but I never actually had one. The fact that they would put Canadian bacon on that.
They were great. Me and my buddy, we lived on them.
Oh,
Wow.
Like a
all right.
buck.
Next question. I know you love your co-host Christian. We all do here too. He was on a couple weeks ago, swearing that he was going to stop shotgunning energy drinks because he heard it was really bad for his health. But when he was hanging out with you, he did shotgun another energy drink. Why do you want your co-host Christian to die?
I don't. That was like, all right. So I want to walk everybody through now because I know Christian. The second that I brought this up, and I brought up the fact that I had to be with him in public, and pointed out some of the weird things that he did. He mentioned the fact that I was 20 minutes late. Yes, I was. I had a busy day Saturday. I was a little bit late. I'm late with everybody. I'm surprised I was on time for the show, if I'm being honest. But when we got out to Barrio, the first thing that he did is that he put his Twitter handle for the name for the name on the ticket. So
Okay.
this waitress looks at it and she goes, Who's KFC? KFC? Oh, that's him. And then so Matty G decided to play in with it, and he wrote, "Who's Matty Hot Takes? Oh, that's you over there." And then then you're Mac. I was like, all right. He grabs this Red Bull, and like you can hear me in the video. I was like, she probably thinks that we're fucking weirdos, right? And he just shotguns this Red Bull in public, and I'm like, I'm sitting there, and I told him this when he goes. Listen, buddy, listen. I'm gonna get off these energy drinks, and I'm no more energy drinks, no more pouches. Doing both. He was twisting my arm. He was twisting my arm down East Fourth for me to throw in a Zen pouch. And God bless him, love him to death, but he's not quitting Zen pouches, and he's not quitting energy drinks anytime soon. He isn't.
He's addicted. Well, I think it's time for an intervention then.
Wow.
I've tried. If you want to take the reins on that one, if you want to lead the initiative there, you're more than welcome to. I've tried.
Whoever wants to come down to Kentucky with me, let's go.
I just get yelled at. That's all that I do. I go, hey buddy, we're really worried about your cardiac health. Maybe you should kind of cut down. Maybe not quit cold turkey, but maybe cut down. He goes, listen, buddy, listen. I got that dog. And then, all of a sudden I'm the fun police. And then he gets upset at me when I said that, now granted, I think the pit vipers need to go too, but that's a whole different thing. I'm looking out for him. And then he makes me out to be the bad guy. So, Christian, if you're hearing me right now, just live your life, pal. Just live your life.
Oh, what a bad, you're an enabler.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So is the, 2,800 people that follow him that support him and his antics.
Well, they're not his friend though. You're his friend. You're his coach.
They all crapped on me because I've been at him from it was just like, because granted, I don't want to sit here like a hypocrite. I take pre-workout too. I throw a little scoop in the water bottle, shake it up. Drink a little bit before I go, before I go lifting. Did that today. But I don't sit here and shotgun a can of Ghost, okay, like a psychopath, and then not even go burn it off afterwards. You're sitting there because he goes, buddy, we're going to go by the Cleveland sign and you're going to shotgun a bang with me. I was like, all right, man, you're the visitor. You're the visitor. So we can go ahead and do that. And everybody walking by thought that we were like cool and shotgunning beers. And then once they realized that they weren't beers, they were like, "Oh, well, that's just yeah." But it's just like, why am I getting the itch? Like, why am I itching from the beta alanine, and I'm not even going to go lift afterwards? It's just that it's a whole thing. I've tried to get on him about it, but then he makes me out to be the bad guy. That I'm no fun.
All right. Well, I will get in on this with you, and we'll convince him together that he needs.
Sounds like he needs to start shotgunning beers.
Yeah, he should start shotgunning beers. Way more.
We gotta get him a beer.
That's what I'm saying. Why not have it be a beer? It would be less lethal to your health if it was a beer.
Yeah, we'll work on it. All right. Final question for me: should the Browns draft a running back in this draft? And if so, what round would you suggest?
Yes, absolutely. Just because we don't now, granted, I love Jerome Ford's burst.
Me too. And so is Ross.
We don't, and Andrew Berry said himself that he is very impressed with Jerome Ford's ability to be a pass catcher out of the backfield. But here's the thing. He didn't show it in college, and he didn't show it in the NFL yet. So you have to get that guy. Now, there's two guys kind of in the back of my mind here. Three if you count McBride out of UAB, but McIntosh out of Georgia, and then Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State. Two shifty guys that can catch out of the backfield, because I'm gonna literally throw up in my mouth saying this, but Nick Chubb's not going to be on the field at third down. Sorry, I'm good. But realistically, Nick Chubb is not going to be on the field third down. So you got to find a guy that can catch the football consistently out of the backfield. And why not not saying, because Jerome Ford was a hell of a spark returning kickoffs last year. And we did see a little bit of his burst, just a little bit. But, nothing's guaranteed in the NFL. So why not add somebody to the roster that can catch the football out of the backfield? I don't want to be negative on Browns players, but Demetric Felton has he's allergic to catching the football with his hands. He loves catching it with his shoulder pads there. So, he's not a viable option out of the backfield. You got to find somebody else. So, absolutely.
Okay, so what round would you draft someone in?
I'd say fourth or fifth, depending on which guy that you like. Deuce Vaughn more than likely is going to fall to the fifth. Kenny McIntosh, I'm pretty sure his first name's Kenny, but McIntosh is more going to be around fourth round. So I'd say, depending on who you're looking at, safe to say, let's just say fourth round.
Okay, I love it. This is a amazing draft for running backs. And for whatever reason, the league is like just not valuing running backs at all right now. It seems like it's at an all-time low. So I think you're going to be able to get a steal at running back. I love it, Mac. Thank you for all that wisdom.
Wow. Yeah.
And now we're gonna play another game because we love games at the Dog Jug. This is actually sent to me by Ed. He provided more content.
That'd be good.
I'm gonna give we're just gonna play the game. We'll play it out. I'm not gonna say anything about what I think about the game, and then the great Sherry's gonna come on and she's going to judge how she felt the game went.
Okay.
All right. There's 5 questions. So we're going to play the Cleveland-New York game because we all know Cleveland and New York are doing battle in the first round of the NBA playoffs. But did you know there is a Cleveland-New York? Get 3 out of 5 correct and you win whatever.
Okay.
Mac, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. What is the population of Cleveland, New York? Your choices are 500 to 999, 1,000 to 5,000, 5,001 to 10,000, or over 10,000.
Are we allowed to ask a follow-up question? Is it upstate New York?
I have no idea. That wasn't provided.
That's rough. I'm going to say A.
A is correct.
Wow.
814 is the population of Cleveland, New York.
It's got to be upstate then.
Makes sense. You've never heard of it. Yeah. What is the median age of residents of Cleveland, New York? Cleveland, Ohio is 36.3. Your choices are 35.5, 38.1, 45.7, or 50.2. Call those A, B, C,
45.7.
Well, that is not correct. It's actually 38.1.
Oh.
Question number 3. The largest ethnic group in Cleveland, New York is white/non-Hispanic. What percentage is that in guessing in the largest ethnic group in Cleveland, New York is white. What percentage is that? In Cleveland, it's 39.71%. white non-Hispanic.
Okay.
So your choices are 80.1%, 85.2%, 93.9%, or 100%.
I'm going to say 85.
85.2 is not correct. It's 93.9.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
wolf.
What
There's
is the poverty rate of Cleveland, New York? Cleveland, Ohio is 45.5%. Your choices are 16.5, 25.5, 45.5, or 55.5.
I'm going to say like 16. I feel like this is all farmland.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's 2 out of 3, or 2 out of 4. If you get the next one right, I guess you win whatever.
Yeah.
What is the home ownership rate of Cleveland, New York? In Cleveland, Ohio, it's 41.2%. Your answers are 41.2, like Cleveland, Ohio, 51.2, 61.9, or 73.9.
It's got to be 73.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You have won the what do we call this dumb game? The Cleveland, New
You
York.
must be a New York fan.
Sherry.
Wow.
Okay, this is hilarious. I don't know if you follow Sir Yacht. He went to Cleveland, New York, not that long ago when he went to visit all the Clevelands in the U.S.
Yes, I remember that. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
So yeah, and I've spent significant time in upstate, and it's quite white.
It wasn't. Let's go.
There's very little diversity up there. So
They're doing their thing.
they're doing their thing. They're living in their houses and being white.
Being
All right. So we brought you on because you're the judge of the Dog Chug. So we want you to now judge Ed's game.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of
10 antacid.
10. Yeah, just because.
You better
It was-
explain your antacid.
Oh, okay. So my scale is backwards, 0 being the best, 10 being the worst. And he gets a 3. It was extremely creative, which I enjoyed. And who the hell cares about
She's
But-
tough. She's
but-
tough with the grades, Mac. She
No, he got a good grade. That was a good grade.
Three's good.
yeah, but
3's good.
It was.
It's a great grade,
a little
but-
silly, Ed, but it was very
7
creative.
out of
It
10.
was
That's a
creative, and there was some good parallels to be explored with our beloved Cleveland, Ohio.
Nice. What would you have given the Mac the Buffalo game?
Mac the
Good
Buffalo
spot.
game. Okay, because it was just it should have just been called Buffalo shit because it was all about Buffalo, which I wasn't anticipating.
Missed
So that was really
opportunity.
funny. That was really funny. I'm going to give you the same grade
All right,
because
this
it was
will be Sherry's last appearance on the Dog Chug.
because it was out of left field. You've never done a quiz on a mammal before.
Hey, it's a solid icebreaker.
Well, to be fair, I've never done a quiz on a mammal before either.
I've
Like,
never
I
graded
thought
a
that he was
quiz
going
on
to
a
hit
mammal.
me with some football facts.
I thought
He's
it was
gonna
going to be
talk
football,
ice.
so I was pleasantly surprised. It was all Buffalo.
so you guys are saying you've never watched a Dog Chug before. That's what you're telling us.
So I was really impressed and proud of Andy for doing that.
Hey, I read these updates and I don't know if they're real or not.
Well, that we know, Roger.
All right, now if we can further put you on the spot, Sherry, how would you, we're almost to the end of this show. How would you grade tonight's show?
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, tonight I'm going to give you a 5 because Roger fell asleep during.
Which literally was the funniest part of the show.
It was. I got new glasses so I could see he put his hat down.
going
He has a
on?
technique. He puts his hat down just a little, and then I saw his eyes were closed.
It's called a power nap.
I think it was like we were saying in the chat, it was a rage nap because he didn't get to sip
It was
tonight.
somewhere between safeties and linebackers. I fell asleep when Mac was talking.
Well, that should be a game in its own right. Let's get ahead of time. Will Roger fall asleep tonight? And it's earlier than usual, so that's even funnier.
Yeah. You know what?
Oh,
You don't know how much Roger does during the day.
He does a lot of stuff. I know that.
Shame on you for judging him.
You
Doesn't
guys,
do that anymore.
I mean, I've seen those pictures. You know,
he
Roger
swings a big
Roger
wrench. I get it.
with a lot of with a lot of pipe, a lot of
Yeah.
lot of
you know, lot
doing
of
lot of
stuff in the daytime.
lot
Well,
of
we-
laying pipe.
We put on a 5 out of 10 antacids show today, but next week we are going to definitely get that down to 4.
Will
So,
there be pyrotechnics?
I mean, yeah, that gets.
Hey, Ross, put that image up for us, Ross.
Well, yeah, I
Put
need
that
to-
image
yeah,
up.
we'll
Andy,
shout
I got a plug.
All
This is
right.
our friends over at the Illegal Ham to the Face podcast and our good friend Fatty Hams. He's my stunt double here on Dog Chug.
You sure?
They're doing this thing over at Melts in on Rockside Road on Tuesday, April 25th. It's a great, I think 20% of your meal or
20%.
25 goes to the whatever goes to the charity.
Cancer.
And
It's the cancer.
you could get the Monte Cristo. Man, I love the Monte Cristo over there.
Ooh, you
And they
should-
got the and
Give me the Buddha Bides.
Buddha Bides. There's another good sandwich. Go meet the and they got the banana melt with the. They got incredible sandwiches. They got the best sandwiches. Go see Fatty
I will be there with Fatty.
for a good
Mhm.
cause. How about that?
There will be other folks there, including Matt Fish, who is the CEO and brain power behind Melt. So that's pretty cool to meet him
Yeah,
and ask him what I should eat for dinner because I'm not going to know what to pick.
I'm getting a Fatty Ham T-shirt out of that plug.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, everyone go check that out. I promise we're going to put on a 4 antacid show next week. So please tune in to that. Also tune in to Down with the Browns. Mac, thank you so much for
Thank you, Mac.
joining us. We love you. Hopefully we get we get the bridge between you and Network 2 and 6
Mac,
leveled out.
right there.
Well, hey, I know Dog Chuck has a special place in my heart. Thank you guys again for having me on. One of the first podcasts that ever had me on ever. So you know, without that, I would comfortably say without you guys, I wouldn't have the platform that I do. And I certainly,
Single-handedly, of course.
yeah, you know, and
Hey.
I absolutely wouldn't have the courage to put myself out more. You know, you guys were definitely, I know Andy and Roger, you guys were the first guys where I started interacting with, you know, more on a consistent basis. So, you know, you guys have really, I don't downplay it. You guys have really helped me kind of come along here. So forever in debt to the Dog Chug. Love all you guys here. You guys do a great job. And again,
We
thanks for
send
having me on.
we get you ready and we send you out there to Twitter world. We prepare you and we do the best we can.
Well, I can't wait till we're in the meeting lot this season, chugging beers or something. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for coming on, Ross,
Mac,
Robert, Jerry.
Down with the Browns.
Oh, Down with the Browns. Yeah, it's great. It's a great podcast. Everyone go check it out. All right. And with that, go Cavs.
Go Cavs.
Yes.
Go Browns. Go Guards.
Drink if you got them.